Okay, more stuff out of Ukraine. So, here's a video of some undersecretary talking about biolabs in Ukraine. Here, take a listen.
And for everything that the state.
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your opening comments. We are all.
The Chinese like to say that they are neutral in this conflict. As we discussed a little bit yesterday, we believe that it's incumbent on all of us, and our leadership is certainly involved in this, and so are many of our allies and partners. I think you know that President Schultz and President Macron, Chancellor Schultz and President Macron talked to Xi Jinping just today to impress upon the Chinese that neutrality is not an option here, that this is a violation of international humanitarian law, violation of sovereignty, that they should not want to stand with somebody who would exact this kind of brutality on his own people, that they should be pushing Putin to stop, that they should be pushing for humanitarian corridors, that they should be thinking about their own strategic and economic interests as this war ramps up energy prices and makes it harder for them, ramps up global commodity prices, and as you know, they just reported the slowest growth in some 15 years of their own. So they have an opportunity for leadership here, and we are all urging them to take it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Secretary Newland.
All right, so the first thing that comes to my mind in this mess, why were there biolabs in Ukraine in the first place? I mean, who had the bright idea to put them there? And second, this woman, she's worried that the stuff the labs were working on would fall into Russian hands. So, what in the hell were they cooking in these labs that now they're worried the Russians are going to take and use? That's just stupidity. But anyway, the next thing would be them starting to blame Russia for the use of chemical weapons. And the Russians are blaming the West for using chemical weapons because of the biolabs in Ukraine. So I'm watching this and it's just completely spiraling out of control. Each side is blaming the other. You know, I'm a Westerner, so I don't want to side with Putin because I've always heard that he was a dictator. But with every passing day, I'm just getting filled with doubts. Because can I blame Putin for invading Ukraine because of these biolabs? This undersecretary is worried. Like I said, she's worried that the Russians are going to use the data that they were working on. So it's that bad. So, again, the Russians trying to take the labs, maybe it's because they felt threatened because Ukraine's right on their friggin' border. This reminds me of the Cuban Missile Crisis. The Soviets wanted to put missiles in Cuba, and America flipped the rate out. To me, this is the exact same scenario. So it's really sad because, like I said, I'm a Westerner, and I'm constantly told by the media that Putler is evil. but with it's just crazy, asinine stuff. Alright, so these trade sanctions. The West put them into place to demoralize the Russian people and turn them against Putin. That could work. Or it could help Putin and harden the Russian people. So it could backfire horribly wrong. And what I don't understand is the West says Putin's a dictator. When I think of dictators, I think of people who seized control by force, not by popular consent. So I don't understand why the West is punishing the average Russian citizen, because that's what they're doing. If Putin's a dictator, he won't suffer from these sanctions. Same thing with all the political class. They won't suffer. They have their millions, they're fine. Same thing here in the West. All the millionaires, they're fine. But the middle class people, they're screwed. Oh well, that's just my little ramble. Take care.